Today we're making breakfast bread. One of these bread rolls clocks in at 177 calories. They have 6 grams of proteins, 36 grams of carbs and 1 gram of fat. This recipe is for 4 portions. If you want to scale it up and down, there's a link to a spreadsheet in the description. But here we're making 4 of these bread rolls. And to do that we need 140 grams of water. We are going to need 1.6 grams of dried yeast. And to that we want to add 200 grams of flour. And I'm using 00 flour here. Regular flour is fine, but I think 00 turns out better. And to that we're also going to add 8 grams of salt. And that's all the ingredients we need. So all we need to do is just mix our ingredients together, and the aim here is try to time the fermentation of the dough so that it is done in the morning. And that means that we're gonna start at night, and all we need to do is just mix the dough together. Then we are going to knead it for 2 or 3 minutes, and here you can use some water on your hands to reduce the amount of sticking of the dough. Then we're gonna leave that dough and let it rise for half an hour, and then we're simply gonna stretch and fold. So do 4 folds, 1 for each side. And then just try to use your bowl, flip it around and try to form a little dough ball from that. So just lift it up a couple of times and try to form a dough ball from it. After that we're going to leave it for another half an hour, and then we're going to do the exact same process. Just get some water on your hands, lift it and stretch it for all 4 sides, and then again flip it and try to form a little dough ball from that as well. And that's it for our first day of fermentation. That means that we're going to place that in the fridge. My fridge is fairly cold, it's 3 degrees, but here we are at 20 minutes to 10 at night, and I'm just going to leave that in the fridge overnight. Next morning, our dough has been in the fridge overnight. It's not super important when you actually remove it from the fridge. Here it's 6 o'clock for me, but that's just usually when I wake up, so I just remove it from the fridge when I wake up. And we want to leave it on the counter for roughly an hour and let it come to temperature. And meanwhile we can place a baking stone in our oven if we have one, and also some container that we're going to pour water in to create some steam. And we want to put our oven to 260 degrees. When our dough has been out of the fridge for half an hour, then our dough should be hot enough for us to start working with it. So we're going to flour our countertop, and we're going to divide this dough into 4 pieces. And you can either weigh them or you can just eyeball it, but if you want to do this accurately, there should be around 87 grams each. So easiest way to do this is probably just to fold everything together and pinch the edges together so that we actually seal it in the bottom. And it is a bit sticky, but not too bad. So once we've pinched everything together, we are going to roll that on the countertop as well. Then we're going to sprinkle some flour on them and cover them and leave them to rest for 10 to 15 minutes. And while they're resting, I like to take a cutting board and also baking paper. And if your baking papers come pre-sized as mine does, it's a good idea to actually cut them so they're not too big, but roughly the size of the cutting board, because we want to put them in the oven later on. And if our baking paper is pouring out over the edge, that's going to be quite a problem to pour the water into our frying pan in the oven. But after 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to again on a on a floured countertop, just push this dough down. You're gonna need some flour to make sure that they don't stick. And after that, we're gonna flatten them out. And all you need to do here is just push, roll it, and then push it down towards the countertop and also a bit towards yourself. And when you get to the end, pinch everything together. So this is very similar to the baguette process if you've seen that video. And then simply place it seam down on your cutting board. Here you will create the shape that the bread will get. If you want a wider bread, then you need to make it long and thin. Again, sprinkle a little bit of flour on so they don't stick to your towel, and then we're gonna leave them for 30 minutes on our countertop. And when 30 minutes is almost up, we're gonna be boiling some water because we're gonna place that in a frying pan to create some steam. And if you have a bread cutter, I think they look nice if you cut them a bit. So just make a light incision here, and they will open up there. And after that, we are going to place them in the oven. And after that, we're going to take our hot water and pour it in our frying pan, and that's going to create our steam. And then we're going to leave them in the oven at 260 degrees for 10 minutes. Then we're going to come back and we're going to lower our temperature to 240 degrees and then leave them for another 10 minutes. We're going to open the oven door to release some of that steam and also lower the heat a bit. And after another 5 to 10 minutes, they are done. And that means that we have our bread at roughly 8 o'clock. We started at 6, but once the rest of the family wakes up, you are ready with breakfast for everyone. So that's it. I hope you try these. I think they're very, very nice. They're very crisp on the outside and soft on the inside. So I hope you try them, and if you do, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.